The third exam in diversity of life will concentrate on invertebrate animals. So the first objective asks you to match animals, metazoans, bilaterians, coelomates, and deuterostomes to their features. And so given multiple choice answers, you would recognize that animals are multicellular. They're heterotrophic. They share the feature of collagen as their major extracellular protein. Metazoan animals share nerve tissue, muscle tissue, and gonads. Bilaterians evolved a head, a brain, and organs, etc. You should recognize that sponges only achieve the cellular level of complexity, while cnidarians achieve the tissue level of complexity, and all bilaterians achieve the organ level of complexity. If you were asked to describe the feeding of sponges, including the terms choanocytes, ostia, and osculum, you should point out that water enters the sponge through small openings known as ostia, because choanocytes are moving their flagella to create a water current. This current brings in food items, which then undergoes phagocytosis by these choanocyte cells before the water leaves through a large central opening, the osculum. These food particles are limited in size because choanocytes can only ingest things through phagocytosis, so it must be smaller than a cell. In contrast, you could describe how cnidarians obtain food, including the given terms. So cnidarians possess stinging cells known as nematocytes, which can then capture a prey and bring this large prey item into a large gastrovascular cavity. The gastrodermis, the tissue which lines this cavity, secretes enzymes which then digest this prey item outside the cells in this space. And so that large prey items, much larger than a cell, can be used as prey and broken down and their nutrients absorbed. This gastrovascular cavity not only serves to digest these large prey items, it also can then to some degree distribute material throughout all cells, because it can reach diverse parts of the organism. But it also offers resistance, and so when muscle cells contract, they are pushing against the water in this cavity, and so then it aids with motion as well. Corals are cnidarians which obtain most of their energy through photosynthesis because they have small algae known as dinoflagellates living inside them. These are called zooxanthellae, and they are providing most of the energy towards corals. When human activity changes the environment, which is detrimental to the coral, they can lose these zooxanthellae, and the loss of these pigmented cells is known as bleaching. Corals are extremely important for marine life. Many animals eat corals. The corals recycle nutrients, but more importantly, the corals provide habitat, three-dimensional structures where these fish can survive and where young fish can develop. This is also important for humans, given that humans depend on the fish for food, but also for ecotourism, and these corals help block wave action, which protects coasts from the harmful acts of storms. Unfortunately, much of what humans are doing are threatening coral reefs, because corals are threatened by warmer temperatures, more acidic oceans as carbon dioxide goes into the ocean, harmful fishing practices, increased sediment from erosion, which limits photosynthesis, and other things. A typical cnidarian has two aspects of their life cycle: a polyp stage, which is sessile, it's stationary, and then later a medusa stage, which looks like a jellyfish, which is then modal. The medusa stage, the free swimming stage, is the stage where sexual reproduction and meiosis would occur in those corals which have both stages.